In the third quarter of this year, four different Chinese EV brands recorded a profit selling EVs. I'm talking a profit even after their R&D expenses. And a further three Chinese brands recorded record low losses. We're talking losses that are in small $1 million figures. This is a turnaround that I think people weren't expecting. They're expecting the Chinese automakers to make losses for years and years and years and fight each other to the death and kill each other off. It's not really happening the way we thought it would play out. Yeah, sure, there's some companies that are a bit more obscure that are doing that, but actually it's legacy automakers that are trending negatively. And these Chinese car manufacturers, both sales and profits are improving markedly. And analysts are basically just shocked by this. They're saying this shouldn't be happening, but it is. So today, Toyota said it's going to make its new models are going to take 10 years or 9 or 10 years for every new model to come out. And even then, I mean, if you look at the new Toyota Hilux, there's a so-called new model that's just been released after years of the previous generation. But that new model is the same as the old model. It just has some different body panels and a different interior. Same engine, same platform, pretty much the same vehicle. So Toyota is saying this is all fine. And for the next 10 years, it doesn't matter. I mean, our brand's amazing. People are just going to keep buying our vehicles and they're not going to care. But then you've got car companies like Leapmotor, Zeekr, Xpeng that are updating their cars every year or every 6 months or every 2 years at the latest, at the absolute worst case, every 2 years. And people say, well, those car companies don't make money, so they'll just go bankrupt. They're not the real competition. And a lot of automotive executives in the industry say this kind of thing. They say, well, they're not making a profit at the prices they're selling at. It's just never going to work. But here's the thing. If you look at Xpeng, Zeekr, and Leapmotor, the three fastest, well, two of the three fastest growing car companies in the world, you look at their books, they're either making a profit or they're about to. And I think Western automakers just don't realize what's about to hit them. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. YouTube's new algorithm means that you're often not getting all of our videos in your feed. There's 7,500. I'm pretty sure you're probably not seeing a lot of them. In the description, there is a link to our newsletter. Click on that and you can get an update every day of all the latest news in the electric car industry. Xpeng and Zeekr, we just saw their third quarter financial numbers. I mean, Xpeng is pretty well nearly neck and neck with Geely and their Geely brand. They're the two fastest growing car companies in the world this year. In third place is Leapmotor. Leapmotor is increasing its sales at a spectacular rate. And I mean, amazing numbers here. Have a look at this chart here from CNN Post. It shows you the increase in sales from Leapmotor. And this is not just a Chinese company. I mean, Stellantis and Leapmotor have a joint venture where they sell cars in Europe together. Leapmotor, right, sells cars at much lower prices than its legacy automotive rivals in China, which is one of the reasons, along with the fact that they have good cars, that they're taking market share. But they're actually making a profit. So a lot of YouTubers say, oh, these Chinese car companies, they're all making a loss. It's not actually accurate. Leapmotor now, for 2 straight quarters, has made money. The Chinese EV maker posted a net income of 21.1 million in the third quarter compared to a net loss of about 100 million in the same quarter last year. Leapmotor first achieved quarterly profitability in the fourth quarter of 2024 when it recorded a net income of approximately $20 million US. However, it took until the second quarter of this year for the company to make money again, when it made a net income of 160 million RMB, which is about 24 million US dollars. So that means for 2 straight quarters now, Leapmotor has made money selling cars at a much lower price than Toyota, whilst it's ramping up at enormous scale. So these numbers are pretty staggering when you consider the fact that Leapmotor, right, in the third quarter delivered a record 174,000 cars in 3 months, representing a 102% year-on-year increase and a 30% increase from the second quarter of this year. I mean, just looking at this chart from the company shows you all you need to know about the likely success. I mean, really, you'd have to be kind of crazy to think Leapmotor isn't in a much better financial position than pretty much every legacy automaker. Think about it. The margins from these legacy automakers are shrinking. None of them can make any money selling EVs, and they know that. They fully admit that they can't yet. Then you've got this company growing its sales at this rate, selling this many cars and making money. So the company's third quarter revenue reached 19.5 billion RMB, which was a 97% increase year on year. Its gross margin was around 15%, surpassing the 8% recorded in the same period of 2024, and also beating the 13.6% they achieved in the second quarter of 2025. So how are they doing this? I mean, remember, this not just Leapmotor, Xiaomi also said they made a profit selling EVs in the last quarter. Leapmotor say it's attributed primarily to economies of scale driven by increased sales volume, ongoing cost management, and product portfolio optimization. Battery costs have come down as well. But the economies of scale, that's what they said, was the number one reason why they were able to do this. So, I mean, it doesn't help that most of their cars are made in China as well. However, Leapmotor now hold RMB 34 billion in cash, yeah, which is quite a lot of money. I mean, they're holding more than $5 billion in cash. And the company delivered 70,000 vehicles in October, marking its sixth consecutive month of record high deliveries. Now, the automotive industry globally, it's a zero-sum game because the automotive industry is not growing. We're not seeing more car sales this year versus last year. It's, if anything, is projected to shrink significantly over the next 10 years. So if Leapmotor is making record sales, if XPeng's making record sales, if Xiaomi is making record sales, then other companies, legacy automakers, are not. Their share of the pie is shrinking. From January to October, Leapmotor delivered 465,800 vehicles, a 121% year-on-year increase.